Life will teach you this lesson too. You will find sooner or later that there is no strength in isolation. There is no strength in pretending. True power comes from being open to life, to others, and to yourself. To let the world see who you truly are. And in that, you will discover a courage that was always within you. Forgiveness is not something we do for others. It is something we do for ourselves. Holding on to grudges, nursing old wounds, and dwelling in anger may feel like protecting yourself, but in truth, it only poisons you from the inside out. Life teaches us this lesson, often in the most painful ways, but it is through forgiveness that we find the path to healing. Nelson Mandela's life is perhaps the most profound example of the power of forgiveness. After being in prison for 27 years, Mandela could have come out of prison consumed by bitterness and a thirst for revenge. But instead, he forgave. He understood that forgiveness was not a sign of weakness, but of strength. It was the key to building a new future. Mandela's decision to forgive those who had wronged him, to forgive a system that had oppressed him, wasn't just a personal act. It was a transformative moment in history. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean excusing or condoning the harm done to us. It means releasing the hold that resentment has over our hearts so we can live freely. It means choosing peace over pain, healing over hurt. It's easy to cling to anger, to carry the weight of past wrongs like a badge of honor. But eventually life will show you the true costs of that anger. It will teach you that holding on to resentment only keeps you stuck in the past, unable to move forward. When you forgive, you are not doing it for the other person. You're doing it for your own peace. And in that forgiveness, you will find liberation. We live in a world that constantly pushes us to seek control. We're taught to plan for the future, to organize every aspect of our lives, to control our destiny. We build systems, set goals, and strive for perfection, all in the hope that we can somehow bend the world to our will. But in the end, life will teach us that control is nothing but an illusion, a fragile illusion that can easily shatter in the face of life's unpredictability. One of the greatest minds in history, Albert Einstein, had a deep understanding of the futility of trying to control everything. He once said, "The only real valuable thing is intuition." He was a man who had unlocked the mysteries of the universe. Yet he was humble enough to understand that even his understanding was incomplete. He realized that the universe could not be reduced to simple rules, equations, and control. It was bigger than that, far beyond our grasp. This lesson plays out over and over again in our lives. We make plans, we set out with clear intentions, but life has its own rhythm. We cannot predict the twists and turns it will take. We cannot foresee the moments of grace or the storms that will shake us to our core. And yet, this is where we are truly tested. In the absence of control, how do we respond? Do we collapse in fear, or do we embrace the unknown, trusting that the journey will unfold as it should? Life will show you time and time again that the more you try to control, the more you will feel out of control. But the moment you release your need to have everything figured out, that's when you truly begin to live. It's when you let go of your expectations and accept the unpredictable flow of life that you unlock the potential for growth, transformation, and true peace. In a world that often values success, competition, and individual achievement above all else, compassion is sometimes seen as a weakness. But life will teach you over time that it is compassion, both for others and for yourself, that holds the true power to heal, transform, and create lasting change. Compassion is the force that binds us all together, the force that makes us human. Mother Teresa, a woman who devoted her life to serving the poorest of the poor, understood this truth on a profound level. She once said, "If you judge people, you have no time to love them." In her eyes, the greatest thing we could do for another person was to offer them our love, our understanding, and our compassion. She believed that even the smallest acts of kindness had the power to create ripples of change that could affect entire communities. Compassion is not about grand gestures, It's about the quiet, everyday moments where we choose to put others' needs before our own. It's about listening with an open heart, offering a shoulder to cry on, or simply being present for someone in their time of need. In a world that often encourages us to build walls, compassion allows us to tear them down. When we embrace compassion, we open ourselves to the deep, interconnected web of humanity. We realize that we are all going through something, that we are all struggling in our own way. Life has a way of teaching us that when we extend our compassion to others, we end up healing ourselves in the process. One of the most powerful lessons in life is this: compassion is not just an act of kindness, it is the key to finding meaning, purpose, and connection in an otherwise chaotic world. And when we embrace it, we become part of a greater story, a story that transcends individual lives and becomes something far more profound. We are all at our core searching for meaning. We seek purpose, fulfillment, and a reason to exist beyond the mundane routines of everyday life. We question our place in the world, our impact on others, and the significance of our actions. Some spend their lives in search of meaning, while others never find it, either because they stop looking or because they never truly understood the question. The great philosopher Soren Kierkegaard once said, "Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards." This paradox lies at the heart of the human condition. We search for meaning not through answers, but through the journey itself. We search for it in our relationships, our work, and our passions. But often, it's only when we look back with the wisdom of experience that we understand what we were truly searching for. Think of Viktor Frankl, a man who survived the horrors of the Holocaust and went on to develop logotherapy, a form of psychotherapy centered on the pursuit of meaning. Frankl believed that even in the darkest moments, we have the power to choose how we respond, and that the search for meaning is the driving force behind human existence. In his book, Man's Search for Meaning, Frankl writes about his experiences in the concentration camps and how, despite everything he faced, the one thing that kept him alive was the search for meaning. He wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. Life will teach you that meaning is not something you find by looking outward at something you create from within. It is woven into the fabric of your experiences, your choices, and the way you respond to adversity. You may spend years seeking meaning in external accomplishments or possessions, but in the end, you will realize that meaning is not something that can be acquired. It is something that must be lived." The search for meaning is not about finding the answers, it's about embracing the journey, and in that journey you will discover that the meaning you seek was there all along. One of the most difficult truths life will teach you is that nothing lasts forever. The people we love, the moments of joy, the beautiful seasons of our lives, everything is fleeting. In a world that celebrates permanence and stability, impermanence often feels like a curse. But the reality is, impermanence is not something to fear. It is, in fact, one of life's greatest gifts. The Japanese concept of wabi-sabi embraces the beauty and imperfection and transience. It teaches that there is a unique beauty in things that are temporary, imperfect, and incomplete. A flower's bloom is most beautiful when it is about to fade. A crack in a ceramic bowl makes it more unique, more cherished. The fleeting nature of these things makes them precious, and it's this impermanence that gives them value. Look at the story of Steve Jobs. His life and work changed the world, and yet, in the end, he was not immune to the ravages of time. He faced death at an early age, but instead of dwelling on the finality of it, he embraced the impermanence of life. In his famous Stanford commencement address, he said, "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking." Jobs understood that impermanence gives life its urgency. It's the knowledge that nothing lasts forever that compels us to live fully, to create, to love, and to experience everything life has to offer. Life will teach you this too, that the beauty of life lies in its fleeting nature. It is this impermanence that makes every moment precious. When you accept this, you can live more fully, more deeply, and more authentically.